This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
You are entering the Savage Angle podcast. Savage, all the time, anytime. Here's your host.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the very first episode of the Savage Angle podcast. I'm your host, Mike. We got a lot to talk about on today's podcast. A lot to talk about. I want to go into this story here that's kind of been, viral here on the internet for a couple days now. This comes out of CNET. This actually was reported on CNET 5 hours ago, folks, and it's saying that your phone is talking about you behind your back. Now, this is just as ridiculous. Okay, first of all, this article here on CNET, and I'm not a big fan of CNET. Correct me if I'm wrong. I read their articles from time to time, but it's just this article is mind blowing. Okay. First of all, let me just say one thing. Has our society gone crazy? Well, it's not hard to understand that question. Yes, our society is backwards, folks, and it's a little nutty and a little crazy sometimes. It's not the same society when I was a kid. I can tell you that right now. Not the same society. Definitely not the same generation. When I was a kid. I mean, you got these kids today that are, they're just, I'm looking at, kids in their teenage years right now, and God, they can be passed as a full-grown adult already. The way some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth, some of the stuff that they dress in. But you know what? It's the parents that'll let them. The parents that allow them to be who they are. Parenting today is just, it's not there. It's my own personal opinion. It's not there, folks. It's not there. But I want to read this story here. Your phone talks about you behind your back. These researchers are listening in. Okay? They're keeping track on tracking the trackers that track you. Okay? Basically, data trackers are everywhere on apps. And researchers want to know information that they're passing along. Okay? Let's read a little bit more into this, folks, because this is very interesting. Okay, these are a bunch of researchers that want to know, the different apps that are out there. And trust me, folks, there's a lot of apps out there that track your every move. That track your every move. I can name several, okay, but I don't think we need to go there. I think we already know the apps that are basically tracking you, okay? Basically, this is how it boils down to, folks. When you download an app, the permissions request and privacy policy are usually the only warnings you'll get about the app it's taking, or the data that it's taking, more or less. Usually, you just have to take an app's word that it's grabbing only the data you agree to give it. Okay, folks? Often, though, there's more grabbing going on than you were led to believe. Security researchers have determined more than 1,000 apps have been found to take data even after you've denied them permission. So, if you denied permission to these apps to so-called sell your information, because that's what they're doing, folks. They're selling your information, okay? They're taking your information from that app you just downloaded, okay? You basically gave that app permission to give all your data, okay, to another app, to another company, to a third party. This is how you could tell that your information or your data has been taken, or what I called stolen, or simply just borrowed, okay? Let's just say you downloaded, Amazon.com app, okay? You basically, and nothing against Amazon, I love Amazon. I shop at Amazon all the time. But let's just say you downloaded Amazon. A few minutes later, not even a few minutes, a few seconds later, you go on to Facebook, right? We all love Facebook. You go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you go on, okay? You go on, say you go on Facebook. You go on Facebook, you will see an advertisement from Amazon right there on the right-hand corner or left-hand corner of your screen. How do you know this? Well, Mike, how do you know this? Because it's on everything, okay? More than 1,000 apps have been found to take data even after you denied them permission. We just said that. We'll repeat it again. For instance, tracking apps have shared sensitive information, what I just said, with Facebook. Oh, I just said that. Well, I'm saying it again because this is just common sense, folks. You don't want your data being shared. You don't want your information being shared. Well, guess what, folks? We don't live in a society where privacy is top notch. It's not, because similar apps have designed to block robocalls, have shared your phone data with analyst firms. Okay. With that being said, folks, what I'm trying to tell you is don't get all dramatic, don't get all sensitive and say, oh, they're going to take my information. Mike is right. Everything is not private anymore. Well, I don't know if you've been living under a rock your whole life, but guess what, folks? Privacy went out the window 15, 20 years ago when technology took its first boom. Okay? Your data is not private anymore. Your information is not private anymore. Do you know how much people have your information in this world? You'd be very, very shocked to know. Okay? Am I being sensitive and dramatic about my information? No. I can care less about my information because I know my information's been shared out there more than a few times. I would need 1,000 upon thousands of fingers on my fingers to count how many times my information's been shared and sold upon and all this stuff. Because it is a digital state of mind we live in, folks. We live in it. And there's not a damn thing that you can do about it. Because when technology first took its boom in the early 2000s, we all said, ooh, this is cool. This is cool. Oh, man, we got a thing called Facebook now where we can share photos and express our expressions and our thoughts and our views on things. And then guess what? 2005 came along, got a little bit more advanced, right? Then we seen Twitter take place, and then fast forward a couple more years, you got Instagram, and then fast forward just a few more years, and you got Snapchat, right? And then you got a couple other apps, and apps are just booming, month by month, week by week, day by day, year by year, right? Apps are always evolving, and your information that you post. See, this is what happens, folks. When you post something online, right? And this is why I wanted to share it in the beginning of the show, because, basically, the so-called phrase that this CNET used, your phone talks about you behind your back. What they're saying is, your phone is not talking about behind your back. Your phone is not sitting next to you having a conversation with Fred, the next cell phone over. They're not doing that, guys. They're not doing that. What they mean by saying is that your phone isn't talking behind your back. You're giving the information to your phone, and then your phone is passing it along. The data in your phone is passing it along to third-party websites, third-party apps, third-party companies. So just think about next time when you want to put that post on Facebook or that tweet on Twitter or that next photo on Instagram. Just think about what you're doing, folks. You're allowing yourself to be shared, borrowed, right? So it's all on you. It's all on you what you want to do. With that being said, folks, welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about on today's show. I want to touch a little bit more on this data privacy and how your phone, apparently stalks you, But we're going to talk a little bit more on this subject, a little bit more into the show, but I'm going to take a quick little break, folks. I'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. For those who's just joining in, we're talking about a lot of different things. I started off with the show, very first episode, today's show. I talked about how your phone is apparently stalking you or talking about behind your back. It's a funny article I read out of CNET. This came out about 5 hours ago on CNET. It's just we're talking about data. We're talking about privacy permissions that you give on your phone. I want to put that on hold, folks, for a minute or two, if that's okay with you. Don't want to touch base on the show too much about this issue. There's other issues I want to, or other articles I want to touch base on. I want to touch base on the just different things. I mean, it's the very first show. I want to put it out on a wham. Want my listeners understanding, wow, what's this brand new podcast out there, the Savage Angle podcast. That's the Savage Angle. I mean, that name got a kick to it, right? Got a kick to it because, the society is savaged. You know what I mean? I think it is. I think this society today we live in is going backwards. It's definitely not going forward, folks. It's definitely not going forward. What's this here? This article here. I'm going to read about this, but I'm talking about today's society here because, oh boy, I do apologize. My mind goes a little crazy sometimes as I'm talking to you, my listeners, and then I'm looking at the different articles, different things that are basically booming, in today's crazy world we live in. The United States of savaged America. That's what I call it. United States of savaged America, because it's, folks, I can tell you, when you had your grandparents that would tell you, back in the day, the good old days, the good glory old days of America. Yeah, I'm starting to believe them. I'm starting to believe that our grandparents, when they were talking to us about America, on how it was, this was the land truly for opportunity. And it is to this day. But somewhere along that line, opportunities in this country are slim to none. Yeah, you're always going to have that job opportunity. You're always going to have that promotion. You're always going to have that new relationship, that new girlfriend, that new boyfriend. You might have a kid along the way, a couple along the way. You might move into that brand new house, that dream home of yours, right? You might buy that dream car of yours. All those things, opportunities of America. Okay, all those things are. That's what everything your grandparents were referring to was the opportunities of America. But folks, what I mean by opportunities are slim to none in this country, and I'll get into that right now, is that our country today is very hard to live in. And what I mean by that is that you have a lot of people that are not living by the American tradition. They're not living by the American spirit of this great country we call America. They're not, folks. What they are doing, is that instead of honoring the tradition of this country, or traditions of this country, cultures, they're spitting on all of it. You see that in the general public. You even see that in politics today. I mean, you look at politics today. Politics are, oh my God, I don't want to get into it. I really don't want to get into politics today. This is a family show, or at least I try to make it a family show. It is raw material on this show, so I strongly advise children under the age of at least 16 or 15 years old not to listen to this show, because I do lose my head a little bit, on certain subjects, and I am a patriot. I consider myself an American patriot. I honor the American culture. I honor American traditions. I celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Thanksgiving. I celebrate Halloween. I celebrate all the wonderful holidays that we have in this country. Independence Day. Okay? All those great holidays. But now we have so many damn holidays in this country, it's hard to even keep track on a monthly calendar. Every day it's national this and national that. It's cool. Hey, don't get me wrong. It's cool to have a national cheesecake day, a national hot dog day, a national ketchup day. I mean, there's a national day for everything in this country. But what I'm getting at, folks, is where the hell is our country going to? Where is it going to go to? I want to get into this article here with this whole impeachment thing. Did everybody see the impeachment trial? What was it, about a week and a half ago? I guess almost 2 weeks ago, right? Donald J. Trump. He's going through impeachment again by the crazy left. They want to impeach this man on what? On what? So he had a simple phone call with a foreign leader, and they thought, he was trying to meddle with the 2020 election. He was trying to do this. He was trying to do that. Face it, he wasn't doing anything. That was a perfect call. There was nothing wrong what he did. Obstruction of Congress, obstruction of justice, obstruction of this, obstruction of that. In what world do these people live in? I hope they live in the same world that I live in. I hope they live in the same world where we wake up every damn day and we put on our suits and ties, or our shoes, or our work boots, or anything that you call work, that you make a living for your family or yourself, or hell, maybe you even make a living for your brother's family or your sister's family or anybody's family for that matter. Because when I wake up in this world, I don't see happiness. I don't see joy. I see a bunch of dramatic people that have nothing else to do in this world but just make trouble for other people because their life is terrible. Well, folks, guess what? I don't live the way these people live. I don't live in chaos. I don't live in havoc. And I definitely as hell, I don't live in a dramatic theory. I wake up every damn day of my life and I put 110% in anything I do. And that's the way everybody should do. Everybody should do the same thing. The same damn thing. Yeah, I'm getting a little heated up on this, but I'm getting sick and tired of everything. We have a American political system that's been so damn divided. It's no one's never seen this ever before in their life. Never. Oh yeah, sure, we had a little controversy of the Ronald Reagan presidential era. And then, the little, I call it the slop slided of Bill Clinton, and I can go on with the Bush, and oh Christ, don't get me going with the Obama administration. That's been the most corrupted administration I've ever seen in my life. I'm still young to say it, folks, but But let me just stop there and go back to this whole impeachment scam, because that's what it is, folks. It's a scam. It's a scam. You have a president that's so proud of his country, so proud of where it's going, because it is going under the right direction under Trump. It is. And I'm not just saying that because I voted for the man. I can see that. It's going under the right direction under him. He's got the job market at an all-time high, the unemployment rate at an all-time low. He's rebuilt our depleted military, because the military was shot, folks. I mean, they hell in a high basket. That's what I call it. Rebuilt it to where it should be. And folks, you are, believe it or not, whether you don't want to believe it or whether it's hard to believe, because sometimes, folks, I'll admit, it's very hard to believe that we do live in the greatest country in the world. We do. There's a lot of opportunity here, but the opportunity is being ripped away from this far left party. I don't know if they don't like the man because of what he's doing or what he's trying to do for this country, because no other president has done it before yet besides Trump. Oh, sure, every president has promised that they were going to, do this and do that, but never delivered those promises. You have a president right now, a man in the White House that's actually delivering promises. That's creating jobs. Getting people off of food stamps, off of welfare. Who the hell wants to live like that? I sure as hell don't want to live like that. I'd rather work, bust my knuckles open, bleed to make a living in this world. I would. I know it's hard to for anybody else that would have that conscience level as I do. Oh, Mike, you would rather bleed your knuckles open and cut yourself and this and that to make a living? Sure as hell I would. Yes, I would. If it took that to make a living, to make good money, yes, I would. I'd get out there in the work field and I would work. Because that's what I do, folks. I work. I make money. Just like everybody else should in this country. Make money. Because let me tell you something that my grandparents told me a long time ago, folks. The government doesn't owe you anything. They don't owe you free shit. They don't owe you food stamps. They don't owe you welfare. They don't owe you anything of that. You owe yourself. You owe yourself to get out there. You owe yourself to make a living. You owe yourself everything in this world. The government doesn't owe you anything besides security to live free in a nation. So what I'm trying to say, folks, is you do what you can while you can. But I don't know. What do you want to hear today? We could talk about the stock market. Stock market's looking great. Stock market, Stock market, all the haters today. Oh, the stock market is tumbling down and this and that. Like I said, what rock are you living under, pal? You look at the stocks are all high. All high. Oh boy. If anybody has stock today, you're doing pretty well in your stocks, I can tell you that. Oh boy. There's always going to be haters out there. There's always going to be negative vibers out there. I call them negative vibers. You got positive vibers, and then you got negative vibers. Oh, Mike, that's a crazy word to say. Oh yeah, it is a crazy word to say. But negative vibers out there. It's just, I don't know. Always going to say something on the unordinary, like this crazy story we're talking about earlier on the show today about how your phone is talking about you and stalking you and this and that. Now, your phone isn't stalking you, folks. Your phone isn't talking about you. You're giving your phone opportunity. Yes, let me say that again for all my listeners out there and all the negative vibers out there, okay? You're giving your phone opportunity to do what it wants to do. You want to go to an app and look up things. You don't think that app is going to say, okay, he expressed an interest in sweatpants from Walmart. you're going to see an ad on Facebook or any social media app or another third-party app about sweatpants and the price or the sale on that other app. Because every app works together, folks. It's technology. Oh, boy. I tell you. Let's see, what's this? Scientists detect an unexplainable radio signal from outer space that repeats every 16 days. Oh, boy. What is this coming from? This is from USA Today. Oh, boy. Their articles are... God, they're like the New York Times. It's hard to believe them sometimes. Let's read about this. I love to hear about this one. What is this one about? Let's see. This is from USA Today, folks. Like I said, God, they're just like the New York Times. They're hard to believe sometimes. Fake news is definitely out there. Fake news is definitely real, folks. I tell you that right now. I'd rather believe a 12-year-old kid on the side of the road telling me about how his mother bought $50 of groceries and only spent $20. That's believable because she probably used coupons or something like that. You know what I mean? But let's see. Let's read about this here. Oh, the burst originated from a galaxy 500 million light years away. It's probably not aliens, MIT said in a statement. Definitely not aliens. Don't worry, folks. Definitely not. It's probably not aliens. We don't know what the hell it is, but it's probably not aliens. Oh boy. One of the greatest mysteries in astronomy is the origin of such bursts. Oh boy, who wrote this crap anyway? I gotta read this about this. This is a bunch of crap. This is probably from some kind of student, some kind of undergraduate student reading or trying to write up an article just to get his 5 minutes of fame, out there. Because this is a bunch of crap. This is nothing new. This is nothing, he's probably trying to orchestrate it as it's definitely something out there, folks. We've never seen radio signals coming from outer space. There's radio signals been coming out from outer space for the last 50, 60, 70, 100 years. It's been going on for a long time, folks. Alien signals, more bizarre, fast radio bursts detected from outer space. I mean, come on, folks. This is a bunch of garbage. Who wrote this? This is from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Yeah, of course. I knew it was from some type of student from an undergraduate school. I mean, it's common sense, folks. Some of this stuff you read today is just it's garbage. It's garbage. It's fake news. Fake news. What happened to real news out there? I mean, seriously, what's going on in this world today? But I just can't. It gets me every single day. What do I do? This morning, I'll tell you what I did. This morning, I does anybody want to know how my life is? How it starts off? It starts off normal. I mean, I wake up in the morning. I brush my teeth, comb my hair. Take a shower. Start the coffee in the morning. I love my coffee in the morning. Love my coffee. Anybody wants to know what type of coffee? It's hazelnut coffee with 2 or 3 sugars, depending on my mood. Love my coffee. Coffee gets me going in the morning, folks. It really does. Without my coffee, I get like the far left does. The far left crazy Democrats. I get a little crazy. I get a little, oh boy, what am I going to do without my coffee? It's like they, that's what they were doing in the impeachment process. Oh boy, what are we going to do? Donald Trump's going to destroy the world. Oh boy, no. Oh man. That's what happens with me without my coffee. I don't go screaming across the world, or I don't go on social media and I say, oh, Donald Trump is a racist and a bigot. Oh, you voted for Donald Trump, you must be a racist or a bigot. I don't do that. I don't get neurotic with myself. I don't scratch my head. I don't do that. I know people that in their 60s and 70s that are acting like little kids, little children about all this. Don't get me started with Donald Trump. He's a bastard. I mean, come on. Come on. Crazy Bernie Sanders. He had a rally the other day. Was it last week? I think it was last week. I don't get into him. I can't take that man serious. I don't. I can't take him serious. What we have to do, folks, is we have to mandate insurance at an all-time low. We have to make affordable insurance beneficial to all Americans. That's what we have to do. Hey, Bernie, is your message just about healthcare? I've never seen his message about foreign policy, military, job market, taxes. That's all he talks about is healthcare. That's all he talks about. That's why I can't take the man serious. Yeah, I can't take him serious. That's all the man talks about is healthcare. We have to make healthcare official and beneficial for everybody in this country. That's just a simple beneficial fact that we have to do. That's all you hear about, folks, is healthcare from this man. That's all you hear about from healthcare in this man. That's what I do. I do this podcast a couple times, so I try to get in as much as possible, because this is not my only living, folks. I have other things in my life. I have a full-time job. I consider myself an entrepreneur of a life. Let me say that again. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. I just said that. After I said that, it just doesn't make any sense. I am an entrepreneur for my life. Okay, maybe that makes sense. I don't know. It just maybe the coffee I had this morning wasn't strong enough. I don't know, because I'm not making sense. That's like Crazy Bernie. He's not making sense, and all the other crazy people out there in politics that are just not making sense. Not making sense. But I'll tell you what, that the State of the Union address was very, very, very well planned out. I liked the fact that Trump had brought those special people in the people's house, of what Nancy calls it, and we have a sound bite of what Crazy Nancy had said as she was ripping up the State of Union address that Trump had prepared and gave. But if you look at this clip, I'm going to play two clips here. First, I'm going to play the clip of her bashing Trump after his State of Union address, and then I'm going to explain to you what she was doing. Well, I'm only going to play one clip then. I wish I could play the clip of her ripping up the paper, or the video clip, but we're not there yet. We only do audio podcasts for now. But I mean, tell you what, folks, when she was ripping up those paperwork, or those documents, that, folks, I mean, I don't know. To me, that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace. It just shows you how far left that these people are going. But do we have the clip? Yes, we do have the clip. I'm going to play that clip right now. I got to find it, folks. The hell is it at? Got to find the clip. There we go. Okay, folks, this is the clip I have from Nancy Pelosi, basically explaining to her fellow colleagues or her fellow Democrats, and I guess America, of why she decided to rip up the State of the Union address from President Trump. So let's listen in.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi holding her weekly news conference. Let's listen.
In writing or in person, his statement of the State of the Union. What happened instead was the president using the Congress of the United States as a backdrop for a reality show.
What?
A state of mind that had no
Oh
contact
my
with
God.
reality whatsoever. It was quite appalling to hear the president say the 150 at least million families in America that are faced with pre-existing medical conditions about a benefit that is afforded to them in the Affordable Care Act, that he was protecting that benefit, when in fact he has done everything to dismantle it.
This woman
That's
drunk?
we are fighting
I don't
the
understand her.
courts right now. That misrepresentation was appalling and so clearly untrue. And next he talked about another issue of concern to America's working families, the issue of the cost of prescription drugs. As I've said to you before, I've seen grown men cry across the country when it comes to the fact that they cannot...
I'm seeing a grown woman cry right now.
...and meet their other obligations to their families. And we had talked about negotiating for lower prices. That's the only way you're going to get lower prices. During the campaign, the president said he was going to negotiate like crazy.
Okay,
I think like crazy means maybe...
Let's fast forward just a little bit.
That to you before.
So basically, I'm playing a clip here. I wanted to fast forward a little bit of basically where this is going at. So, my listeners and the rest of, I guess, the podcast world out there can understand what this type of woman is. I mean, listen in. This is crazy. It's like listening to a little kid that's just not getting her way or not getting his way in the schoolyard. I mean, Jesus Christ. Listen to, oh boy.
I feel that I've extended every possible courtesy. I've shown every level of respect. I say to my members all the time, there's no such thing as an eternal animosity. There are eternal friendships, but you never know on what cause you may come together with somebody you may perceive as your foe right now. Everybody is a possible ally.
Your foe?
You pluribus from anyone. I didn't know how many we'd be or how different we'd be.
Nancy, this is America. This isn't, a common war or anything.
Differences.
Oh, boy.
Do we. So, again, I extended the hand of friendship to him, to welcome him as the President of the United States, to the People's House. It was also an act of kindness because he looked to me like he was a little sedated. He looked that way last year, too. But he didn't want to shake hands. That was that. That meant nothing to me. It had nothing to do with my tearing up. That came much later. And, a speed reader, I just went right through that thing. So I knew what was coming when I saw the compilation of falsehoods. But then when I heard like the first quarter or third, then I started to think there has to be something that clearly indicates to the American people that this is not the truth. And he has shredded the truth in his speech. He's shredding the Constitution in his conduct. I shredded his state of his mind address. Thank you all very much.
Folks, let me just remind you who this woman is and explain to you her role. This is your House Speaker speaking this crazy rhetoric of nonsense. Oh boy. Oh man. This is like, again, this is your House Speaker speaking this. That, I had to do something. So I decided to rip up the State of Union address. I decided to rip up his speech. I didn't rip up the speech, I ripped up his peace of mind. No, Nancy, you ripped up his speech. Come on. A simple 5-year-old can look on TV and say, Mommy, Daddy, why is she doing that? I mean, come on. What is wrong with these people? I mean, the hatred on the far left has grown so high in this country. It's now common to the normal human eye of what they're up to, of what their whole agenda is, to destroy and try to bring down this president of this country. Okay? it's not hard to see anymore, folks, of what they're trying to do. There's, like I said, there's so much hatred in this party now. They're trying all different angles right now to try to bring this man down, to try to make him quit, to try to make him resign from office of presidency because they don't like him. They don't like his agenda. They don't like his policies. They don't like this. They don't like that. Oh, no, Mr. President. No. We can't have the job market at an all-time high. We can't have the unemployment rate at an all-time low. We need people to depend on the government. We need people on food stamps. We need people on welfare. We need people in Section 8 housing. We need this. We need that. We need this. We need that. We need this and we need that. Is it true? Or let me just rephrase that again, folks. It's because this president is moving this country forward now for the first time in 50 some odd years. And the American people are seeing all the greatness coming into this country. Yes, it's not just a slogan, folks. Make America great again. It's not just a slogan. It is the truth because this country is flourishing. This country is doing so great, it's like it's on steroids. This country is on steroids. This country is pumping at an all-time high. Okay, the veins in this country are so large. It looks like it's a muscular man on steroids. Okay, because the jobs are there. The unemployment is so low. We haven't seen unemployment so low since probably the Reagan era. We haven't seen so many people off of food stamps probably since the Reagan era. Okay, we haven't seen jobs come back into this country probably since the Reagan era. So yeah, it's been probably a good 30 some odd years, right? Almost 40 some odd years since we've seen a country flourish this great, such as ours. Our military's been rebuilt under the Trump administration. But at what cause do they need for self-destruction of this country? What cause? Because I'm not seeing it. Oh, I see this agenda of Bernie and maybe possibly a couple little independents trying to bring in socialism. But what did that do for Venezuela? What did that do for countries such as Cuba? It's socialism, folks, is a bad thing. It's a nightmare. No, it's not going to work. Socialism does not work in any country. And sure as hell it's not going to work, in America. It's not going to work in America because I'm not going to allow it. And I don't think any average American in this country will allow socialism because socialism will go down far. It won't survive. It won't survive. You'll have another civil war in this country if socialism prevails in this country. Mark my words. Oh, boy. Are we in a civil war? Yeah, we're in a civil war, but guess what, folks? It's not the same civil war a few hundred years ago. It's not that same civil war. We're in a political civil war right now between two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats want to take everything from you, and the Republicans want to give you that America that you should have. Jobs, taxes that are all-time low, okay? Low taxes. I mean, everything. You want me to name it all again? I'll be repeating myself. That's what the Republicans want to give you. The Republicans want to give you greatness. The Democrats want to give you destruction. If you can't see that, maybe you should look all around you instead of looking at fake news. Instead of looking at these news networks that are giving you falsehoods on what this president is. Oh, he's a bigot. He's a racist. He's this. He's that. He doesn't like the black people. He doesn't like the brown people. He doesn't like the yellow people. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like that. No, your president's not a bigot. He's not a racist. He's not this. He's not that. Your president has a relationship with this country that no other president in my lifetime has, except for maybe Ronald Reagan. But I was a little boy and I didn't see that yet. But I'm seeing right now what this president is trying to do, folks. This president, yes, he is trying to drain the swamp, so to speak, because that swamp in Washington is like a swamp you would see in the Everglades. Okay, there's a lot of nasty creatures in that swamp. There's a lot of, alligators and snakes and this and that and rats. That swamp is huge, folks. And President Trump needs our help. He needs our help to drain that swamp, to drain that corruption, to drain everything that swamp is standing for right now, which is just destruction and hatred and chaos. Because that's the America that I don't want to live in. And I sure as hell think that you don't want to live in that same America either. Folks, with that being said, I thank you very much for joining in today on The Savage Angle. And we'll see you next time.